What's going on, guys? So I got a license plate for the collection here. This is from when we lived in Pennsylvania for a short stint. We moved there. Wanted to get away from the hustle and bustle. Moved to a small town called Pottsville, and I worked in a town called Minersville. Little service station, mechanical, body shops, RV storage, all in one type place. And I always thought this was a funny tag. Why me? Yeah. That was on my wife's truck. I guess all the trucks up there start with a Y. So figured I'd put that up there on the wall of shame. The Pennsylvania license plate from good times gone by. Found the toolkit under my seat the other day. Thought that was pretty cool. I don't know how original or old that is, but a little 4-way there, a little looks like a tire tool, and there's a 10mm wrench in there. I'm gonna have to dig through there and see if I can find any other goodies down in here. So got the old bus in the booth here. It's not going out of here until it gets painted this time. So haven't had a chance to work on it. It's been sitting in here for a while now, a couple days, but been doing some small jobs on the floor in front of the booth. So got this side sanded down to the original red and try to get some of that purple off. I don't know what it is about purple. It's probably almost always put hardener in it if you use it, but it's one of those paints that has a hard time drying. I don't know if it's the pigment or what is it in purple, but I always find that anytime I have an issue, it's usually going over purple. And I noticed a little bit when I was sanding that the base is still a little on the mushy side. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that off and go down to the original red there, and we're going red and white with it. So sort of like it looked like Martin's bus. I saw Martin had painted his door and a few bits on his bus, and very similar. Gonna be white on the top from here up, I guess, and red on the bottom. So that'll look classical. So we got a little Saturn quarter panel bumper repair here. Had the quarter done, and then saw the dents in the deck lid. So gotta knock those down and get them in primer. Andrew's got her Blue Road shirt on this morning. There you go.
Words too high.
Words are too high. You need to lower the words there. Get them more in line with the things. The boobage. What do you got?
Sherwin-Williams money.
Oh, where they come? Where you're leaving?
I'll be in and out through the day. I don't know what time Joe's going to show up, so the money doesn't.
I need help with that Jeep. So
I know I got to make paint for Chavo. I'm going to have to go to the warehouse. He just texted an order, so.
Oh my goodness gracious!
You know.
All right, well I just basically got to get the flares painted on that and reassemble. It doesn't have to go back till tomorrow, so just want to get. I just need a little help.
Instant money is getting hit, you know.
All right. Well, you can get paid when you take that back too. I just once Derek gets here, I get sidetracked. So I figured if you were here, keeping everything in order. So anyway,
I need everybody's address who was at the show.
Okay, everybody
at the party.
Everybody that was at the YouTube gathering there that would like to get a commemorative plaque.
Email me.
Email Andrea. What is it, Lady Cadillac or?
Lady Cadillac 04 at yahoo.com. And then I did email the gentleman who had the motor questions and told him to email me that if he got it here, you'd fix it. So.
Right on. Yeah, you can get a little expensive shipping those motors. I think you could do it a little more economical than we did Greg's motor. We did a big crate for Greg's motor, and that went. We'll just see a yellow freight finally.
Well, it went freight RDL or whatever, but I think he paid like $300 to have it shipped.
Yeah, he paid way too much. I know that the parts store gets the long blocks, the old Volkswagen long blocks in, and UPS ships those. I want to say for about $100. So you might want to check with the weight limit and how much your long block weighs. Greg Porter's motor was complete, you know, carburetors, fan housing, exhaust, everything was on it. So if you could just send a long block, it'd probably be much cheaper. I know UPS does ship those factory long blocks. If you buy one of those, it comes UPS or FedEx.
Well, he might want you to do the whole thing because he saw Greg's.
Yeah, so it just depends on how you want it. If you want the complete motor turnkey on a crate, you know, we can do that. You just have to do the, did we do the U-ship thing for Greg's?
He did U-ship and took bids.
Yeah, U-ship did bids, and I think RLL Freight ended up winning that bid. I think every time I've done the U-ship thing, it's been a shipping company that's actually won the bid, not an individual.
And then Jerry got his stuff in Canada.
Sweet.
A couple days ago.
Uncle Jerry.
And Mark Sponge, thank you very much for my catalog. I've been glued to it since yesterday.
There you go. Got a car book from Canada.
Australia.
Australia.
I need to know what the name of the one is that they advertise the big trucks into, because I only saw one big truck in that book.
Well,
so let me know that in an email if you could, please.
So there we go. So we got our motor pretty much ready to assemble here.
When you're done with the video, please turn my machine on.
Turn the machine on, okay. Got our cylinder heads all done. Rebuilt a set of heads. Had to drill a broken stud out of one of these, I think. Yeah, it'd be the other one here. There we go. Had to take care of that stud. Just got a bolt in there for threading purposes. But there you go. Valve jobbed them. Did a 3-angle competition valve job here. And refaced the intake valves and put new TRW exhaust valves in. We replaced the valve springs and glass beaded them up. So these are ready to go. This is took a couple sets of heads to make a set for this. So had one that had been really butchered up, welded, and reshaped. I don't know what happened to that one. Here it is. Here, I'll show you this. I don't know if it'll show up or not. But these are the types of heads that I try not to use. I don't know if you can see the intake port down in there. This head's been blown up real hard, and they've actually welded the intake ports up, you know, and ground them back out. So this head's had a lot of welding done on it. This whole combustion chamber has been reshaped, and these heads seem to not be a good type of candidate for a decent motor. You can see the crack right here. Right in the seat area. That crack opens up and that seat will fall out if it gets hot. So being that we were going with a bus and the motor's going to be run extra hard, you know, people tend to think that bus isn't a hard on a motor, but it is very hard on a Volkswagen motor. There's a lot of heat back there. There's a lot more weight, and it's the same exact motor that's in a Beetle, other than the case configuration's a little different. So we'd elected not to use this one. Maybe on a car around town motor that would be okay, but not on the road head there. So we elected to scrap that one and go for a different one. So I do have a pretty good selection of cylinder heads in stock now, rebuildables. So I know a couple of guys that asked me about rebuilding heads. Usually it's $200. What we do is we glass bead the head, we replace any valve guides that need to be replaced. We do a valve job, 3-angle. We can do more angles, you know, it's a little more money. You can go up to 6, but 3-angle valve job is a standard with a $200 rebuild type deal. We replace the guide, sandblast the head, cut the seats. That includes 4 new TRW exhaust valves and refacing your intake valves. The head needs to be surfaced. That's a little additional. I have to take that to the machine shop at this time. I think they charge me like $100 to cut all the holes. $25 a hole. So that's what's included in the rebuild type deal. I try not to use them if they need to be cut. You know, I like to have the original factory ledge in here. Keep the compression in you know, control. It's the one problem with rebuilding a head. A lot of times you'll get them, these little knobs, if they're ever gone, that means that the head's been cut more than 100 thousandths. You don't want to put that on a street car. So these things are very sensitive to compression. The higher you make the compression, the more heat the motor will make, and you just it's never good with a Volkswagen. You can also see that these seats are actually sinking down into the cylinder head. You see where there's a ledge between the seat and the head here. That means this seat is sinking, the spring and the valve is driving the seat into the head. So probably a combination of improper crush fit on the seat to the cylinder head, and then the fact that all this has been welded up. The aluminum in the weld wire is not quite as good as the original aluminum used to cast these cylinder heads. So you have a little bit of temperature and difference in the temperature and the yield of the material. So that's another reason not to use a head that's been welded up and butchered back together like that. Used to be quite a common thing back in the 80s, you know. A lot of people were rebuilding heads. I rebuild the heads if they're really good, you know. It's a candidate for the $200 deal. If not, you can buy a brand new cylinder head for 200 bucks. So you save $200 if you got a good set of heads and you can valve job them and go through them. And you know, worst case scenario, I think a brand new cylinder head ready to go is $200 each. So 400 bucks for a set of heads versus 200 to do a valve job and stuff like that. So need to get on my compressor still. Haven't got that done. Trying to get Hans to strip the tank out there, get it all painted and stuff so we can do that. And yeah. So I got my push rods cleaned up, got my rockers cleaned up, and I think this motor here will get the finished assembly on it today. Got all my sheet metal painted for it and stuff like that. This is our bus motor. We've been working on the bus a little bit. Had to put some shocks on there. It's gonna need some brakes. Ball joints are bad. I'm gonna have some ball joints in it and stuff like that. Some CV boots. Got some CV boots to rebuild the axles. So got to get on all this stuff. The guy wants to leave. Got to have it done by Saturday. He's heading out to Colorado, going to a music festival. So he'll be driving the bejesus side of this thing, and hopefully we can get it in there this weekend. Let him drive it around for a week, do the recheck, do a valve adjustment, change oil and stuff before he gets on the road out to Colorado, out west. He's going a few different places. So that's what's going on. I guess Andrea emailed back the guy with the motor, the 1915, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to straighten that out for you. A lot of times cases can be very difficult to weld. They can be welded up. They have a high content of magnesium, and it's very easy to set one on fire, and once you set one on fire, it's sort of hard to put them out. There's an Autocraft case up there, and you can see where they weld all the gussets around the cylinders there. These cases are no good if you're going to run cylinder tins, but in an extreme situation, you know, they weld those gussets around the cylinders to keep the case from deflecting and getting out of shape. That's a 14mm stud case. I know we talked about 10mm, 8mm, and then the race cases back in the old days, they used to punch those out to 14mm. That's actually a 94 bore with a step cut, clearance for a 86 stroker crank. So got a little bit of them all, little different motors, you know. Cracks in the oil boss area are pretty common. Right here, I guess, is where you're talking about. Anytime you use any kind of anything screwing into a Volkswagen case, whether you're doing the full flow fittings or you're putting an oil sending unit in, I see this a lot. You never ever want to use Teflon tape on a Volkswagen motor. Never. It exaggerates the torque reading. So what I mean by that is you'll be tightening something and it'll feel like it's not tight, but it is tight, and it's actually spreading that aluminum, spreading it, and it actually will yield and crack. Anytime you're going to seal anything on a Volkswagen case, as far as where you'd use the Teflon tape, you want to use the liquid. You know, it's a lot less it affects the torque reading a lot less, and you'll end up damaging your case a lot less than with the Teflon tape. Teflon tape is detrimental to a Volkswagen, so you might want to go over and check out Berg's site. He goes into the Teflon tape and how it changes the torque, and it's not good for aluminum and all that stuff. I remember getting preached when I was a kid, so I've always used the, you know, the liquid. So that's where we're at with this one. Had to make a few seals out of a Coke box because these don't come in the gasket kit. So I had Derek cut these yesterday. He cut this out, did a pretty decent job. I think that'll seal it up. That's the breather tower there. We picked up our last bit of screws there we needed. Our new sheet metal screws to get all our sheet metal on the motor looking good. So I'll go ahead and turn the camera back on when I get this all assembled. I'm going to go ahead and cut this video short because the battery light's flashing. And you guys have a great day.